Hey there, hope you're doing good. Let's continue refactoring Futurecam. We were cleaning up some frame producer code. Let's see what all we can do. There is something about displaying this. Display last used manual exposure settings. I think this is only a debug UI. We can get rid of it. Yeah, see, it's not even implemented. What else is there in the delegate that we can clean up? This is to know the current mode. This is to show the timer when recording a time lapse. This is starting and stopping recording. This is capturing, like showing a partial result. Selected camera. Oh, this should have get. Swift syntax. In a protocol, excuse me, you have to say get explicitly. Let me see if I can turn on the camera. I forgot. Okay, I can't do it while recording. Never mind. Oops. So, this in a class you don't need to do get, it's understood, but in a protocol you have to be explicit. Yeah, this anti-shake delay we have to look at. Exposure bias, yes, this is there in the UI. Let's make a note so that we don't forget it. Execute after anti-shake delay. Show adjustment screen, show burst count. Do we need either of these? Do we need both of these? What is this anti-shake button? Main view, you can understand, it's a root view. Thumbnail view, the last taken photo shows there. Camera timer, yeah, this is the timer. You know, it shows how long the time lapse has recorded, like 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds. What's this anti-shake button? Oh, this is something in the UI. Let me get my iPhone and see if this is actually enabled in the UI. Yes, anti-shake UI is exposed. Anti-shake delay is exposed in the UI. Along with EV selection. Yeah, I don't know when this too dark label appears. It's based on camera.is too dark. Oh, it's always false. Hmm. So let's clean it up. It's always false. In the app, when I covered the screen and tried to capture, it was still not showing that it's too dark. Yeah, actually we need to remove this outlet, otherwise it will crash. But typically we edit this in Xcode, which runs only on the Mac. So let's leave it alone. Is anti-shake delay on? Do we even use it? Yeah, it's just used internally in the main controller. So it doesn't need to be exposed in the delegate. Ah, okay. This is there in the UI. Okay. Okay, cool. So we have gotten rid of a few. Let's see what else we can get rid of. This is indeed shown in the UI. Anti-shake is shown, zoom is shown, bottom control, shutter button. Technical info. Yeah, this is always hidden, as we saw in an earlier commit. See, is hidden is always true till we figure out where to put it. Oh, main view. We'll need to look at this also. Okay. Focus info label. We had a UI that told you the focus distance, but I think we removed it. We had manual focus as well, which we removed because autofocus works well. Unlike my old Sony camera, the iPhone's autofocus works well. And when it doesn't, it was so dark, such as a night sky with stars, that you couldn't focus manually either. And then we needed to implement a zoom so that when you're focusing, it zooms in so that you can see clearly, and it should increase the screen brightness to max. We didn't do that, so manual focus was useless. When autofocus didn't work, you couldn't do it manually either. So this entire focus thing is not useful. Oh great, these are all the outlets. Let's see the actions. Actions are like the callbacks. When the user presses something in the UI, iOS invokes this function. Yep, cool. So what are all the changes we made? At least at our scale, this thing turned out to be more complicated, the technical info. So one learning from this is sometimes some of us are too keen to implement these kind of debug UIs. We think it's nice and convenient, but often the ROI is poor. So think twice before implementing these. And if it is useful to you, you should think about whether it will be useful to users. For example, users may want to see the ISO. So yeah, either do it in a real way for users or think twice before doing it. Okay, moving on. Oh nice, this is less than 1000 lines. It had crossed 1000 at one point. Now it, even before this refactoring, it was below 900. Now it is like 829. Good, good. Hopefully we'll get it below 800. Okay. Debug UI and unnecessary Let's go back to the frame producer. There'll be other things here. Yeah, this is useless. It's very easy to get into the habit of commenting code and submitting because you're not sure. But you can always get it back from version control. So don't use that as a crutch. Okay. Okay, we need to clean up this guy. So we are looking at the max gap. Is that actually used, or can we delete all that code? Because there was a to-do to log it to Firebase. Now it does an ns log. Yeah, okay, fine. Actually, this is not a problem. We don't need to keep this. So step by step, we are not updating this. So calculating the gap is useless. And verifying is, okay, we can verify no harm. Yeah, I think these timestamps are all useless. First capture timestamp, what are we doing with them? We are using them only to calculate the gaps. I mean, we can keep this thing, but yeah, we are already done optimizing these gaps. So there'll be no reason why there'll be a bigger gap. Because it's already optimized. Ah, nice. This can be removed. Yeah, there's only one call. Okay, for now we won't. Yeah, there's only one call. So we can remove this. I don't know why this variable is needed. Okay, you're setting it to true and false, but you're not doing anything based on it. Oh, the shutter sound is played based on it. Okay, let's pause and look at the diffs. Oh yeah, these timestamps are still used. Timestamp gap. The gap and timestamp variables are no longer being modified, and the other things like frames are still here. Gain timestamp. Okay, you're calculating the timestamps just to calculate the gap, and you're not logging it to Firebase or doing anything with it, so you don't need these. Will capture, this is the call site, because the implementation is removed, because again it's just timestamp calculation. You can see how complex it is. I think one thing I should have done is all this timestamp calculation should have been moved to a helper class. You don't think it's complex because logically it's not, or functionality wise it's not, so you tend to overlook these things, but actually they are big. Will capture is removed everywhere. In fact, capture can also be removed. Captured rather. Because, oops. Oh, something else too. Then it calls self.captured, which does nothing here. So this do nothing function can be removed. Then its caller can be removed. We should remove these two variables as well, because I use this to test that iOS is invoking the callbacks, which it is. So now that the testing is done, the testing code can be removed, because there was some problem. So I thought this might be a reason and I wanted to be sure, so I put in this code. It's better to double check even if it is silly than to proceed with a doubt, because iOS does have a lot of bugs in it. Bugs, undocumented behavior, version changes between versions, you name it. So captured can be removed in take bracket. So much cleanup, huh? All in one file, which is good. Oh, these are not private. It should have been more disciplined. I should have first checked the call site and only then changed it. It's okay. The analytics is not that important. But next time I'll first check the callers, and I think the other mistake I made was I removed a whole set of things here. What I should be doing is remove only one, like max cap based on XF, and then commit it, then remove one more. Because now that I have removed so much, I can't go back. I had to delete it from analytics, which is not ideal. Anyway. So this need not be a closure anymore, because it's just passing through. You can just use a function reference this way. And these two are gone, captured and will capture. Yeah, it's the same thing. And I'll see you in the next video.